And I'm speed racing for you, shawty. Yeah. NRL SC stand. Super cool. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the late start today. Hello. Please don't I'm gonna put it. Please, no spoilers of team lists. I shouldn't actually look at my team either for now. Okay, please no spoilers of team lists as we do them live. Thank you, chat. Join the Discord here. And then I'll go like this. Rage Traders. How you doing, Jesse? Nice to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. All right, let's get into this because I got a son to take care of. I hope you're all doing well. Big Flaps, what's up, big dog? Anyone else trade in AKP last week? You know what? He was on my mind as someone who I was thinking about possibly going pottish on, and I'm very happy I didn't. That's very unfortunate. I'm just going to turn the air conditioning on. AKB is Afiana Khan-Pereira for the winger on the left side of the Warriors. All right, let's do this. Here we go. All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach podcast. We are live here today, as per usual, going through the team list for round 12. It is the first major bye round. The Origin team lists have all dropped. Now, before we get into it, as always, if you're watching on YouTube and you love and support me, like, subscribe, and comment. That helps out with the algorithm. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify podcasts, it would be really appreciated if you could leave a 5-star review or a 4-star review, or whatever type of review that you feel this podcast warrants. If you're not happy with it, sorry, I try my best. But if you could leave a 5-star review, that would honestly help me. Now, a bit late to this one, 4:30 I could only get to this. I do apologize for running a bit late, but we're going to get straight into it. NRL team list round 12. Then we're going to get into my team a bit and just talk about that, what I'm thinking trades-wise, etc., where my head is at, how many players I have. I'm not going to do that at the start anymore because I can see who's in and out with the green and red dots. Thank you for being in the chat, even though we're a bit late. McGruff, Big Flaps, Jesse, hello everyone. Thanks for coming in. But let's see how we're going to look. I see a picture of Jacob Kiraz. So many things to talk about. Okay. All right, what's this saying? The new rule allows teams to carry... Why is this there? Anyway, all right. Raiders versus the Dolphins. So Raiders just coming off the bye. Dolphins hitting some very good form. That's on Thursday this week, 7:50 p.m. The versatile Dane Laurie has been named at 5'8", and Ada Moriata starts in the back row with Ethan Strange and Hudson Young in Blues camp. Where is Zach Hosking? The shoulder injury to Simi Sasagi sees Zach Hosking named in number 12 in his return from concussion. I would assume that when Sasagi comes back, Mariota will go to the interchange. That is my guess. So Hosking could be a major pick, someone we spoke about in previous weeks, but he's been out for a couple of weeks due to the concussion. So that's going to be very interesting. Jordan Uta is set to make his NRL debut from the bench. Flyer Xavier Savage makes an early return from the syndesmosis injury he suffered in round 5. So Jed Stewart slides to the bench. Playmaker Kobe Black is part of the extended squad as he chases an NRL debut after 8 games in New South Wales Cup. All right, so biggest news here for me is most really just Zach Hosking back. He's super cheap. I think he's about 400-ish thousand. We know if he gets like 60 to 80 minutes, he's a bit of a base beast. Again, Kulakefu Finafuiaki is named because he's in the 20 for the Origin this week. So there's a very likely chance he'll be backing up. So for people that either own him, if you own him, you're very happy because he's likely going to be a green dot. And if you don't own him, he is someone that you could look at. Just remember, Dolphins have the round 13 bye. So if you want to go on a Dolphin now, you're not going to have them playing for next week. Some people talking about maybe looking at Timoko as someone you could trade in this week. Again, we know that Canberra have one of the best draws over this bye coverage. If you don't know what their draw is, essentially now that they're off their bye, they do not have a bye until round 18, which is the last major bye. They now have Dolphins at home, North Queensland at home, Sydney Roosters at home, so 3 home games in a row. Parramatta are away, that is in the major bye, so that's without Mitchell Moses. Then they have Melbourne away at round 16. That could be without some of the players backing up there. St. George at home, into the bye, into Bulldogs away in round 19. So a very nice draw coming up for the Canberra Raiders. On top of that, a lot of people talking about, getting Joe Tarpanay. For me, there's a few people you could look at getting for this period. I think Tarpanay's good. Hosking's great. I think someone like Corey Horsburgh, now that he's not named in the Origin at all, could be someone you really look at. The bench showing Owen Paddy, Jordan Uta, Morgan Smithies, and Jed Stewart is kind of friendly towards the forwards like Corey Horsburgh and Joe Tarpanay. So if you're looking for a front row forward or second row forward, you could look there. Obviously, big talking points now. Trey Fuller in the fullback position. Bostock is in the centres still. Herbie Farnworth playing very good football lately, so he's someone you can look at for a vice captaincy pick. And obviously Jermaine Osako is someone who a lot of people are looking at over this bye period as well. But big eyes on Finafuiaki this game. Morgan Knowles comes into the 13. Obviously Max Plath is out and Hammer are out for the Origin. 18 and 19s Chevy Stewart and Jake Clydesdale for the Raiders. Brian Punu and Lewis Simmons in the 18-19 for the Dolphins. Kurt Donahue, Ray Stone, Tom Gilbert, and Oren Keeley on the interchange for the Dolphins. And if you want to have a play at Trey Fuller, you could possibly do that, but I think that is a bit risky. All right, next game we have the Bulldogs versus the Storm. This is going to be a very interesting game. A lot of talk around the Bulldogs here, but the biggest news here is Jacob Kiraz returns on the wing after 4 games out with a knee injury. So Inari Tuala pushes into centre to cover for the Blues Origin rep Stephen Crichton. The only thing that worries me here is that Inari Tuala is a bit of a hog sometimes. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but he can just not pass it. Hello, Shrimp. How you doing, mate? Great to see you here. Thanks for joining on in. Marcelo Montoya has been added to the interchange after 3 weeks on the outer, while back rower Josh Curran is listed among the reserves. So Curran's just not getting starts at all. Is Sua named? That is a big play. Sua is named in the team still. Okay, very interesting. I wonder if he's not going to be in the team once Crichton is back. That's going to be something we'll have to sort of see. But if you have Sua now, he's a green dot. Keep him in your team. I find it wild Storm aren't playing Munster and Grant knowing the situation Storm are in. They're in Origin camp. They can't play, Jesse. So when you get chosen for Origin, you go actually away from the team and you go to Origin camp. So you actually train with everyone. So you actually are unable to play. You're like full dived into a new team. So that's why they can't play. Long time watcher, first time commenting. I appreciate that, Shrimp. Thanks. We usually start at 4 p.m. on the dot, and I just couldn't make it today, 4 p.m. So, bit unfortunate for that one, but we always get to it some way, somehow. All right. Super coach wise, Cooper Clark's been doing a great job here, but no big hits besides Trent Liero. So he could slot in, he could do some big things. Atavalu Lasardi, he'll likely be playing 80 minutes as well. I dare say he will, but with Davey Moale, Alec McDonald, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if he played 80 minutes last week even. So I have to double check that. Jerome Hughes, he's been doing good things, but a lot of hits now. We've got Keegan Russell Smith in for the Cameron Munster, who is off an Origin camp. So a lot of the kicking duties are going to come to Jerome Hughes. Some people were talking about Nick Meaney being a bit of a pod. I don't think so. A lot of weight on the attack is going to just come to Far Logo and Jerome Hughes now. So that's going to be very interesting to see. I wouldn't be surprised if they go heavy right side because Jerome Hughes loves passing to the right. Will Warbrick, Atavalu Lasardi's there, and then you've got Far Logo there. So there could be a lot of attack going to the right in these periods. We'll have to watch out for that. Joe Chan, Manaya Watere in the 18 and 19, Jethro Rinakama, Marcelo Montoya in the 19-20 or 18-19 for Bulldogs, Kurt Mann, Harry Hayes, Jack Underhill, and Aleko Lasimi Jones on the interchange for the Bulldogs here. I think Bulldogs are going to win this game. Call me crazy, but I'm going to say Bulldogs win this game 22-14. Prediction right there. So we'll see. And I'm going to say Kiraz scores a try. There's my prediction. But we'll have to wait and see. Call me crazy. But yeah, nothing crazy here. I still don't understand how Josh Curran doesn't get a play in this team. It's just wild. Maybe they're just over him because he's leaving next season. But yeah, it is what it is. Cameron Munster, Harry Grant, and Trent Liero all out. So that's some big hits there for the Storm. And nothing else to talk about. Cooper Clark at lock is actually pretty crazy good if you did want to consider him. But maybe that's a bit rough. Dragons Warriors 5:30 p.m. Could this be the first Dragons win? Now, a lot of people talking about going and looking at going Tamari Martin. He's in the top 5 trades of this week. I think possibly you can wait 1 week on this. They do have the round 14 bye. You're not going to lose any money whatsoever. Now, the reason I say this, now call me crazy, call me stupid, call me dumb. If Dragons, out of some crazy scenario, right, they don't have Tanner Boyd, they have an iffy game, the Warriors. If Dragons came out and won their first game, is there a chance that Tamari Martin would get dropped and Luke Metcalf comes in? That's all that I worry about. Now, I don't expect Warriors to lose this game, especially with Jackson Ford being still in the team. But in the wacky world of NRL, we know anything can happen. Toby Couchman has been in really good form, but the team itself have been in awful form. They still have Christian Tuipulotu, who's a big strength for them. They're playing better footy. They played mostly their best first half against the Panthers last week, in my opinion. So it's just something that I had in the back of my mind. Like, I'm not going to lose money on TMM. I can then evaluate next week whether I want to go TMM or Fletcher Sharp. So that was something I was thinking about. A lot of people also talking about Aaron Clark. I'm not as huge on Aaron Clark now because Jackson Ford is still in the team. But because Mitch Barnett is out of the team, maybe that helps Aaron Clark a bit just in the obviously they play different positions, but still he still has to do a bit more of the workload. James Fisher-Harris, his workload's going to go up a bit, but that's going to be super interesting. I still think Warriors will get away with the win on this one, but it could be a lot closer than people think. Hamish Stewart, Ryan Couchman, Toby Couchman, they're going to be lifting all the heavy weights here. We've got Leilua on the interchange, Emre Gula, Josh Kerr, and Blake Laurie, so nothing changed there. Sam Healy, Tanner Stower-Smith, Dimitri Van Malga, and Eddie Leremia Toeva on the interchange for the Warriors. Again, Sully not back, nursing a back injury. Jaden Su has been named in the centers as well, which is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. because Dylan Egan is there. Okay, so that's going to be a big watch. Jaden Sewer in the centers. That's going to be interesting. Tamari Martin, obviously, he's taken over from Tanner Boyd. Jacob Laban comes into the starting side as well because of Mitch Barnett and Kurt Capewell on Origin duty. Okay, sure. Sea Eagles versus the Titans. Someone who is a bit of a pod here and a bit of a sleeper is Clayton Fa'alo'o. Now, Tommy Turbo is close to coming back, so maybe that's something you need to look out for. But still, I think Clayton holds a position somewhere in the team. But again, it's very risky to jump on him, but it could pay off very, very well. Josh Folletti and Blake Wilson join the backline with Tolo Kula on Origin duty and Lehigh Hopewadi suspended. So 2 big hits for Seagulls there. Jackson Sherab starts in the back row in place of Blues Hamoli Olakawatu. So not only do they lose Hopewadi, Kula, and Olakawatu, there's some big hits in terms of attack there. Brandon Wakeham is back at hooker, having served a 1-game suspension. Forwards Hugo Hart and Siamoni Laife are the new faces on the 6-man bench, with Hart in line for an NRL debut. Cleese Haas comes into the starting side for the Titans, and Jalen DeGroot is the new centre. Whoa. With Tino Fa'amasua'i and Jojo Fifita in Queensland camp. Chris Randall, who had a head knock, is listed among the reserves, but should he fail to come up, he will be replaced in the back row by Arama Howe. So if you have hold on to Arama Howe, you're hoping Chris Randall does not come back into the team, because that'll boost your minutes up there, and he's most probably a hold during this period. Lachlan Ilias and back rowers Bodie Sharpley and Adam Christensen are the new faces to the bench. So on the 14 to 17, we've got Curtis Moran, Josh Paxton, Luke Summerton, and Adam Christensen. Then we've got Simpkin, Nathan Brown, Kobe Hetherington, and Simone Lafai on the interchange for Manly. Oliver Pascoe still named to be the hooker of the Titans, even after some injury scares last week. That's great news for owners there. He's going to be super good for this period where, you know, your main hooker generally is Blake Brayley or Reece Robson. Being in Origin camp, he comes in, slots in, and sort of plays the second man for the hooker position. Super interesting with, I guess, seeing how Titans turn up in this game, because they've been playing much better footy. They just have lags and like points of like moments where they just really sleep, and it's like it costs them tries. So if they can just stick to being like even a 60-70 minute team, it would be much better. Zane Harrison's still in the 7. AJ Brimson's still in the centers. Keanu Kinney looking for a big game here from him for owners as well, who most really are holding him. Tanella's Paseka's been great as well. They are going to lose a lot of forward, I guess, oomph, because of Takiaho with the massive injury last week, which I don't know what the actual diagnosis of that was, but it was very serious. And then they lose like Hamoli Olakawatu as well as a second row forward. So a lot of weight is going to fall on like Paseka, Bullymore here, and then Nathan Brown coming off the bench, which may not be enough. So Titans could actually score some points in this one. Also, I'm hoping now, this is what I did. This is why I got Cooper buy-in for this period, where essentially, Tino Fa'amasua'i not in the team. I'm hoping to see Cooper Buy get an extra 10 to 20 minutes this game. If he could get anywhere between 50 to 60, I'll be super, super happy, because I think he's a bit of a base beast and he could do some good things here. So if you don't own him, you don't need to get him. But if you own him, that's what you're hoping for. Nothing much here to talk about or left to talk about for this game. Cowboys versus Rabbitohs. I think... Oh, no. Alex Johnston's back. No. Damn. I was hoping Alex Johnston wasn't back for this game, because I thought, Cowboys could put on some points here. But I still think we can do it. However, Kolomatangi not named for Origin. They still have quite a good team here. Alex Johnston now back. So let's have a read of this. Jason Taumalolo returns after a Magic round rest to start at lock, with Ruben Cotter in Maroons camp. Robert Darby comes in on the wing. That's mostly why they did the rest as well. They knew that Ruben Cotter was going into Origin. Give Taumalolo a rest before, Ruben Cotter goes, and bring him back in. even though I don't agree with it. Last week's debutants, Liam Sutton and Xavier Kerrick, retain their spots, while Viliami Valia, and Kai O'Donnell are the new faces on the interchange. O'Donnell returns after missing a week through injury on his ankle. McIntyre still holding his position in the team, which is good to see because he's going to get some extra minutes here. Reed Marnie in the 9. Thomas McKaylee, he's someone people were looking at for the last few weeks. Hasn't punched to the next level yet, but he could be someone that easily scores in this game, looking for his first try in NRL. Hoping for a much bigger game from Drinkwater here. We've got Robert Derby coming into the team. He's a man that either can be on fire or have a shocker, so I hope it's on fire for this week. He gets the wing with Zach Laybutt on the other wing. What happened to Braden Burns? Does anyone know? They haven't listed... Oh, he's done his hamstring. Okay, there you go. A bit unfortunate there. Yeah, so nothing much more Supercoach wise with the Cowboys. I'll be looking at getting rid of Drinkwater around round 15. And then let's go to the Rabbitohs. So a number of changes in the backline with try-scoring machine Alex Johnston back from a knee injury, while Latrell Mitchell and Campbell Graham are sidelined due to injury. So that's a big loss for them, Campbell Graham as well. So that's a defensive edge that loses a bit, especially with Jack Whiten still out. Tallis Duncan moves to the centers alongside Latrell Sigwalt. So is that left side? No, sorry. Latrell Sigwalt will be left side, and then Tallis Duncan will get pushed to right side. Interesting. I don't like that, but it is what it is. For us Tallis Duncan owners, Peter Mamouzelos earns a recall at hooker after 2 games. Adam Elliott starts in the back row with Cameron Murray on origin duty. Jamie Humphries has been named to return from a knee injury on the bench alongside Liam LeBlanc, Thomas Fletcher, and Ed Cossey drops the interchange after starting last week. So a lot of changes in this team. Look out for Keon Kolomatangi not being named to origin. How does he play in this game? Even Ewan Aitken, he's someone who is going to get more minutes with Cameron Murray gone. I think he could be a very big shout here. So keep a lookout for that as well. Other than that, I still want to look at Tallis Duncan. Latrell Sigwalt could be a huge play here. A lot of people possibly going him here, especially with the Latrell Mitchell injury. However, it could be a bit of a punt, so maybe weigh that up, the risk and reward of that as you may. But yeah, nothing else to change and really talk about there for the Cowboys versus the Rabbitohs. And that's it. That's your round 12 team list, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, my guys or girls. And if you don't, we'll leave it at that. For those listening on audio, thank you so much for listening. I'll catch you guys soon. 5-star review would be greatly appreciated. Cheers. It's your boy Wolfie from the Rage Traders. All right, lads, what do we think? All right, let's look at my team. So Pasco named Lasardi in. He can go reserve. No, he wouldn't go reserve. He would go here. Cooper By in. Cooper By plays before Lukey, so we can put that in. So I have before trades. Setu 2 comes in. Makasini's still not hopefully named next week. Far Logo comes in for Drinkwater, and I think that's how I'm going to do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 players without trades. Do I even need to trade? That is the real question. I think I could go someone like a Tarpanay or a Horsburgh. I do have to trade Carrigan. Out of everyone, out of my whole team, the one person I have to trade is Carrigan because the buy structure for him under origin duty is really bad. I think I will hold Tedesco for next week for a specific play I might do. But yes. Yes. Anyway, guys, if we've got no questions here, I thank you for being here, but I will jump off. I have some stuff to do. If you're listening while you're driving and stuff like that, thanks for just turning it on. Sorry for a bit of a late start. I could only get here at a certain time. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, guys. I appreciate you all. Thanks for supporting the channel as always. Wolfie here from the Rage Traders. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for joining in. Any questions here? Thoughts with RTS out? Would they go left more? Thoughts with RTS out, would they go left more? Possibly, which means Jaden Sewer could be a bit more of a... Wait, no. RTS is on the left side. So that means Valentine Holmes... No, RTS is on the left side. So that means Valentine Holmes and Set22 side, right? Thoughts on Garrick? I think... This is what I think. That's a tough question. The problem is with Garrick, right? This is the only problem. Because Olakau'atu's not there, I think Garrick becomes more of a target. But isn't it Garrick and... Let's have a look here. Is it Garrick and Saab? Wait, am I blind? Is Saab back? He is. That is actually not a bad shout, considering that Kula and Lehigh Hopewadi are out. But that feels like only a one-game thing. That's the only problem. Like, if Kula and Hopewadi... I don't know how long Hopewadi's suspension was for, but it could bite you in the backside a bit later on. I don't mind Clayton Fa'alo'o, but again, yeah, it's a bit weird. I kind of feel like Titans have the better team here, just because of the origin outs. Going to be very interesting, this game. Very, very interesting. I have to wait and see on this one, but yeah. It's not a bad shout, though. It's not a bad shout at all. Maybe Saab is a better shout than Garrick, though. Don't know. You got my brain thinking there. I like Clayton Fa'alo'o, though. I need to do some more research into him, but yeah, he's been playing some really good footy as well. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. I'm going to call that a day. We've been doing a lot of videos, a lot of stuff lately. So yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. And if you have any more questions, just chuck them in videos, in the most recent videos, and I'll see the notifications and answer them then. Thank you so much, guys and girls. Peace. Wolfie here, Rage Traders. Love you.